Hey, hello everyone. What's going on? My name is Rafael Moreno, and I am a host for Quarantine Cafe. Today, we're going to be doing a special snippet, an interview, if you may, with our doctor, Dr. Susan Duberstein. She is one of our first responders. She's a doctor in our New York City hospital. So she is in the front lines and she is dealing with quite a bit. And I thought it would be amazing to just have her on and listen to a doctor speak from their perspective and their experience as today, March 30th, 2020, dealing with Corona. Susan, please.
All right. So I know that everybody is probably worried and everybody is probably scared about what's going on. And I think that that's an appropriate response if we understand what we can and can't do to stop or slow the spread of this. And I think that there are two separate concerns that most people have, one of which is what's going on in the hospitals, and the other is what they should be doing at home. Okay, so right now in the hospitals, we are in the process of converting most or all of our floors into wards where we have the ability to care for people who have required hospitalization. What people should understand is that this means that people who are not necessarily normally caring for patients that have respiratory distress are being pressed into service to do so because we simply don't have the manpower.
So wait a minute. So people who aren't necessarily trained or that's not their expertise, they're being forced to have to deal with these patients even though that they're not trained for this.
We're all doctors, and we're all being overseen by people at this point who do have that experience. But right now, hospitals are being overwhelmed by the number of patients that they're seeing.
So there's more patients coming in than the hospital can handle.
That's correct. So when you see in the news that things like the Javits Center has been retrofitted up to be 1,000-bed hospital, that is the level of the public health emergency that we are dealing with.
Wow, that's that does put things into perspective. But Dr. Duberstein, from your perspective, what is the climate in the hospitals as far as health responders are concerned?
We're all worried. We're all scared. We're worried about contracting the virus ourselves. We're worried about bringing it outside of the hospital to our loved ones. Everybody is under a great deal of stress. And one of the things that is extraordinarily stressful is the fact that we are in various levels of not having the types of disposable protective equipment that we need to have in order to protect ourselves and to protect other people.
So basically, you're working under circumstances that normally you wouldn't, and then the equipment that you need to properly do your job, you're not receiving. So
Right.
the city trying to, do you believe that the city is doing their best to get you the equipment that you need?
I think the city and the state are doing an amazing job of trying to mobilize forces as quickly as humanly possible to get everything to where it needs to be. We are also seeing a lot of incredible responses from people outside of the normal channels, huge overseas donations that are coming our way eventually. And I think within the next few weeks, we will have enough of this donation and production will have been ramped up to the point where this will probably become less of a problem. But right now, it is a problem. And so right now, extraordinary precautions need to be taken.
And you did say the next few weeks. So how long, in your professional opinion, do you think that it will take? Like, how many weeks will it take for this to curtail?
That's a very difficult question, and I am neither an epidemiologist nor an ID specialist. But the simplest answer is that the sooner everyone conforms to stay at home, stay in place, limit social interaction, and let the passing of the virus die down, the sooner it will be over. If we do not do this, and we do not do this on a national scale immediately, then we could be looking at months.
So Dr. Duberstein, just one last question. What information do you believe is imperative for the general public to know and to exercise?
Okay, so number one, limit your contact with other people. And by limit contact with other people, what this means is if you do not live with that person, you should not be in direct face-to-face contact with that person at this time. Second, wash your hands. When you think of it, wash your hands. If you can't remember the last time you washed your hands, wash your hands. Okay? Do it before you eat. Do it after you eat. Do it before you prepare food. Do it after you prepare food. Do it before you go outside. Do it when you come back in. You can't do it too much. And one thing that you should know, in addition, is that I know everybody's panicking because they can't get hand sanitizer, and hand sanitizer, but ordinary old soap and water for 20 seconds or so is fine. Number two, beyond stay inside and wash your hands, is if you are feeling sick, redouble these precautions. It is not advisable to go to the emergency room with minor symptoms at this point. And that is for two reasons. One is because there's, as I say, there's a huge influx of patients coming into every possible emergency room, and they are overwhelmed. If you come in with minor symptoms, then you're going to sit for hours and not be seen. But secondly, people who absolutely do have this virus are also going there. And if you do not have it, then you will be exposed. None of which is to say do not seek medical attention if you start to have shortness of breath, if you feel like something is getting to the point where you might need to be hospitalized. Obviously, you come in. But we are asking that people start, if they just have a fever, if they just have aches, stay at home, take some over-the-counter medication, see if you recover without needing medical attention.
Got it. So first and foremost, social distancing. Second, wash your hands as frequently as possible. And thirdly, don't go to the hospitals unless you absolutely need to and you are in dire straits, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say wait until you're in dire straits. If you have shortness of breath, you should be seen. But just a fever, just some body aches, just a headache, I would stay away. The other thing that some people have been asking me is about the utility of masks. And if you have access to regular masks, I think that they are a good idea when you're out in public. Understanding that the mask is not to protect you from other people, but to protect other people from you.
And one last thing, Dr. Duberstein, is how's the morale with the doctors or the whole staff?
I think it's guarded, but I think that also we are seeing an extraordinary response, and we feel a great deal of love and care from the community that is supportive of what we're doing, and it is enormously appreciated.
Fantastic. And on behalf of the community, we truly appreciate everything that you and your colleagues are doing for us. We definitely do understand that we're getting by because of you. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.